It's Santa. Your mother has ruined you. No, I literally, in my head, I was like, this Santa's drunk. And look. So that really is Santa? Was I right? Hey, you guys, welcome to Kim's Never Seen It. I'm Kemma, and today the movie we're going to be talking about is A Miracle on 34th Street. If you have never been here before, I take movie suggestions on movies I've never seen, which is basically every movie ever created. Watch them, give a quick synopsis what they're about, and then give my review. And will mine differ from yours? Probably. But if you've never seen this movie before, I'm putting a big spoiler alert right here because we're about to get into it. And now that we got that out the way, let's get into what this movie's about based on the DVD cover summary. The holiday season is in full swing when a cultured gentleman with twinkling eyes, an ample belly, and snowy beard is hired as Macy's department store Santa. He claims his name is Kris Kringle and soon fills everyone with Christmas spirit, except for his boss Doris Walker, who's raising her daughter to not believe in Santa. But when Kringle is declared insane and put on trial, everyone's faith is put to the test as young and old alike face the age-old question, do you believe in Santa Claus? And believe it or not, I am being festive in this video. The leggings I have on have reindeer and snowflakes on them, so I am being festive for the Christmas spirit. But to start off with the movie, we start off with a man who, again, seemingly looks like Santa, and he just looks all happy and jolly just walking around, and he happens to come across a parade. Turns out this is the Macy's Christmas parade, and as he's watching, he sees there's a play Santa who's supposed to be in the parade, and he's drunk as a skunk.
You've been drinking.
Well, it's cold. A man's got to do something to keep warm.
He's literally drinking on the job. He's drunk. So then this man finds the director and it's just like, listen, that man cannot be Santa. He's putting me in a bad light. And she's just like, well, obviously we can't have him. Can we have you? And he agrees. So now he's in the parade. The woman he was talking to, her name is Doris Walker. Again, she was basically the director of the parade and she works for Macy's apparently. So after that, she goes home and she's going to find her daughter. Her daughter's name is Susan. She's across the hall with another man watching the parade. Who is this man? Doris doesn't know. Just with a random man. But because he seemed nice and Susan's taking an interest to him, it's okay. We won't get into that though. So as Susan is watching the parade, she's talking to the man and she's just like, oh, well, that used to be this last year. I guess mother changed it or they painted this and that. And the man, his name is Frank Galley, right? Frank Gailey. I'm so sorry. His name is Frank Gailey. And he's just like, oh, look at Santa, blah, 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 trying to like engage with her. And she's just like, no, Santa, mythical stuff, all that fairy tale shit, not real. So then the mother goes over there. She meets Mr. Gailey and they're talking for a little bit. And she basically tells him, yeah, I don't have my daughter believe in mythical creatures or fairy tales or anything. It's not realistic. It doesn't, help build her up for the real world. We keep everything strict around here. Personally, I hate that. I think that kids should have an imagination. If you don't want your kid to believe in certain things like Santa, the Easter Bunny, sure, fine. But this woman does not let her kid have an imagination at all. Like she is strict, nothing. I feel like that's terrible, but that's just me. Regardless, Mr. Gailey, Frank, he finesses his way into talking to her more and gets invited to dinner, which is, I guess, going through Susan to get to the mom. Again, it's weird, but yeah. So now we're back with Santa and it looks like someone who also works at Macy's is just like, hey, would you mind being the Santa who sits, in the mall and talks to the kids? Of course, he's just like, yeah, that's fine. But the man is telling him, oh, well, here's our catalog. Make sure you push these items. Even if they say they don't want it, make sure you push these or whatever. And he's not too fond of that because he's just like, how are we supposed to tell the kids what they want? That's not what this is about. So then he's working as Santa and he's seeing all the kids. And there are some kids who are just like, oh, I want this, I want that. But the Macy's store doesn't have it. So the parents are just like, oh no, you can't have that. We can't find it. But Santa is just like, you can have it. You can have it. Of course you'll get it. Now the parents are getting mad, but then Santa is just like, just go to that store. It shouldn't be a problem. And everyone's kind of flabbergasted about it. They're just like, you're advising I go to a different store to go get this toy? And he's just like, yeah, we're just supposed to, get them what they asked for. And if it's somewhere else, then just go get it.
Macy, sending people to the store. Are you kidding me?
Well, the only important thing is to make the children happy. And whether Macy or somebody else sells the toy doesn't make any difference.
Now, someone who works as like, I guess like one of the store heads or something hears this, and they're about to go off on Santa, but one of the parents of the kids comes up and is just like, I think they just like the honesty, and they're just like, you know what? Even though you recommended me to go to a different store, I appreciate that. And if, I do find something here, I will come here first because I appreciate them doing that for us. So I guess it just wasn't custom to recommend to go somewhere else to find something, which I feel like now that's pretty normal. So that confused me, but we move on. So we're still in line with Santa. And now we see Mr. Gailey and Susan waiting in line. Is the mama around? No. I don't know where this man, it was a different time. Kids were not protected. It was a different time, but he's taken Susan to go see Santa after hearing that her mom is just like, no, we don't believe in that. That's not a thing. So she gets up there to see Santa. And again, she's just still skeptical because she was taught not to believe in that kind of stuff. Doris comes out and she's just like, so what's all this then? And kind of gives her a piece of her mind about it. But again, the only thing she doesn't have a problem with this man that she just met is taking her daughter out places. She is mad that he's sending the wrong message by attempting to have her believe in Santa, which is just like, girl, you are worried about the wrong shit. But again, we move on. And again, Doris doesn't believe in Santa, and she's teaching Susie, whatever, not to believe in Santa. But what this man is doing is proving how he is Santa.
She said you were Santa Claus, as she calls you, and you could talk to her. Well, I didn't know what to do.
Hallo, ik ben blij dat je gekomen bent.
Oh, Ben Santa Claus.
And Susan ends up seeing this. Now she pulls Santa in and is just like, listen, I need you to tell Susan that you're not actually Santa. This is just all for the costume and stuff. And he's just like, no, I am. I'm Santa. And she's just like, no, stop playing. Like, tell her you're not Santa. He's just like, but I am Santa. Like, that's me. I'm the guy. So she literally goes back to pull up his employment records or like some kind of identification for him, and the name literally says Kris Kringle, and like where he lives is the North Pole and all this stuff, everything leading towards Santa. And she's just like, no, there's something wrong here, and she fires him because I feel like it's the holidays. Even if he is lying, just let him play it up for the holidays. It's Christmas, whatever. But she fires him, and she gets called in by her boss, Mr. Macy. And he's just like, nah, I like that guy. We got to put him out more. We got to do this. We got to do that. So now she's just like, yo, that's crazy. I actually just fired him. And now she has to tell him to stay. Now, she keeps saying that he's crazy. He's insane because there's no way that he can literally believe that he's Santa. And she's just like, we need to get him psych evaluated. And she tells Santa that, and he's just like, I've been through this before. I know all the tests. I know all the questions. Let's just do it. Like, he doesn't mind. He's just like, I'll do it. I've done it before. And she even calls a doctor who I think works at, where does he work? Like a retirement home or something like that. Since again, Santa is older, just to bring him in, just to like also evaluate him. Now the psych man, he's asking Santa questions and he's just going through the whole evaluation. But honestly, it looks like he needs some kind of evaluation himself. Like he is like, seems so tense. He's picking at his eyebrows and he's just so uptight. And yeah, and even Santa, he's just like, maybe you need to relieve some stress. But the thing goes over well. However, this man lies.
I don't think there's any doubt about it. He should be placed in a mental institution.
He tells them that he failed the exam and that he has maniacal tendencies that could come out and he could hurt people. Now the doctor is there and he's just like, no, I don't think that's true. I think his only MO is like, is it MO? I think it's MO, is that he wants to spread cheer and be happy and just do good. There's nothing, what you're saying is not true. And the doctor proposes that he rooms with someone that works at the Macy's. That way they can see him at home. They can ride to work together, ride home together, just to kind of feel him out and actually see like, what are you like outside of this? Because you are acting like Santa and it's a little too spot on. So we need to see what you're like outside of this. Now Santa later on is at the Walker house and he's talking to Susan. And again, we find out, well, we knew this, but Susan literally doesn't have an imagination at all.
He said, what kind of an animal are you? And I said, I'm not an animal. I'm a girl.
And he said, only animals allowed here. Goodbye.
But he helps her with that. And he's just like, well, if you wanna pretend to be something, you just have to act like that thing. And he like tries to make her act like she's a little monkey and looking in the mirror and doing all these things and running around. And it's cute because again, she is a child. I think she's like 7. And there's no reason why a 7-year-old shouldn't have an imagination. Like there's no reason. And Mr. Gailey is also over there for dinner and he's talking to Santa, and I think Santa brings up, oh, they want me to like live with someone, but I don't know who I could just room with. And Mr. Gailey's just like, oh, well, you can live with me during this time. And I live right across the hall from Doris, so you guys can drive to work together. And Santa likes that idea. And before he leaves, he is tucking Susie into bed and he's just like, you know, what do I got to do for you to believe in me? Like I am who I am. And I think you should believe that because I'm literally Santa. And she's just like, well, if you're Santa, get me a house.
A real house. If you're really Santa Claus, you can get it for me. And if you can't, you're only a nice man with a white beard, like Mother said.
But challenge accepted. The next day, it looks like it's lunchtime at Macy's. And he's talking to this kid named Alfred, who he did meet before previously. Alfred has expressed that he likes to dress up as Santa for the holidays and just like help around. And Alfred mentioned that he's been seeing that same psych. And he told him the only reason why you enjoy dressing up as Santa, the only reason why you want to do all these good things around the holidays is because there's something deep in you that's evil, or you did something in your past that is just so bad and you're trying to make up for it. Mind you, this is a 17-year-old kid, and that pisses Santa off. And he goes up to that office too.
And filling him up with complexes and phobias?
I think I'm better equipped to judge that than you are.
Just because the boy wants to be good and kind to children, you tell him he has a guilt complex.
Having the same delusion you couldn't possibly understand.
Now he's so upset, he takes his little cane and hits him in the head, and then he leaves. But Doris and her like work partner, they come in and they see the psych man kind of laid out a little bit or like holding his head. So of course he plays it up like he got knocked out. He was not knocked out. He plays it up like he got knocked out and he's so hurt. And then when they bring him back to like care for him, just like, what happened? Did you say something to him? He's just like, no, I didn't say anything. I just brought up the Santa thing and he went crazy on me and hit me and liar.
But the moment I mentioned Santa Claus, the moment I attacked his delusion, he became violent. I told you he had latent maniacal tendencies. Well, I think this proves it.
Now, because of this, they put Santa in the mental hospital, and now there's about to be a whole ass hearing because they're just like, well, this is a crazy man who just went after and abused this man saying that he's Santa. Obviously something's wrong. We have to take this to court. But because Mr. Gailey is his roommate, they call him when he's at the mental hospital and they're just like, oh, he's here. You know, you can come visit him if you'd like or bring him some stuff. And he comes there and he's just like, listen, I'll represent you. We got this together. We're going to prove everybody wrong. Now, this psych in the background gets called up to Mr. Macy, and Mr. Macy finds out about the trial. And he's just like, listen, I don't know what you're trying to do, but I have a whole ass business and he's good for business. So you're going to drop this. We're going to make sure there's no publicity around it. And we're going to act like this never happened. So you go up there, drop it, and we're going to continue doing what we're doing. So the psych does go up there to try to drop the charges and everything, but they're like, no, this is happening. And now everybody in like the neighborhood is mad because how are you going to put Santa on trial? How are you going to take Santa to jail?
I don't blame them. Any man who puts Santa Claus on trial for lunacy.
So the hearing started, and now they're basically trying to get him to slip up and say that he's not Santa, but it's not working.
You believe that you're Santa Claus?
Of course.
Regardless, people still think that he's kind of out of his mind and there's something wrong with him, like he has personality disorder or just something, because there's no way he can be Santa, obviously. But Mr. Gailey is doubling down. He rides for Santa, and he's even trying to tell Doris, like, I don't care what happens. If I get fired from my job for representing him, I'll start my own practice because I know what's right and I'm doing the right thing. And Doris is just like, I mean, no, we shouldn't be doing all this. But Mr. Gailey has tricks up his sleeve.
Why are you so sure there's a Santa Claus?
Because my daddy told me so. Didn't you, Daddy?
Now, Doris finally has a talk with Susan because Susan is just like, this man is like no other man I've ever seen before. He's just so happy, so jolly, so just different from everybody else. I think he is Santa. And then Doris is finally just like, you know what? maybe he is Santa. And because Susan feels so strongly about it and she wants to help, she's like, I'm going to write a letter to him and to the court. That way we can try to fix this. And at the end of the letter, Doris sees it and she signs, I believe in you too. And then they send it off. Now, other kids send Santa Claus letters to the North Pole when it gets to the post office. So they know where to route it. However, Susan routed it to the courthouse, I believe. So when they see it, they're just like, somebody wrote a letter to Kris Kringle, Santa, and it's not to the North Pole though, it's to the courthouse. And then someone's just like, oh yeah, there's a whole case where someone's claiming to be Santa and, you know, that's all happening. It's all in the news and stuff. And then they're just like, well, if he is Santa and he believes he's Santa, let's send him all of his letters then. And this is what gets him off because there's multiple men who come in with bags, carrying all these big bags with thousands of letters from kids to Santa. So it's just like, obviously, like, I mean, look.
Since the United States government declares this man to be Santa Claus, this court will not dispute it. Case dismissed.
So now that he's let off just in time, honestly, and it's Christmas Eve and he has to do what he has to do. And then the next morning is Christmas and I believe it's all the Macy's people. They go around and they're going to the tree to get their presents and people are getting, you know, all these things that they probably didn't have before, but they're getting now. And there is a person who didn't get something that they want, unfortunately. And it's Susan.
I'm sorry, Susie. I tried my best, but...
You couldn't get it because you're not Santa Claus, that's why. You're just a nice old man with whiskers, like my mother said.
She did get other presents and she did like them, but she did not get the house she was looking for. She was looking for a piece of paper or something and she didn't get it. So now she's just like, nope, you're not Santa. Nope. But then her mom finally speaks up and is just like, you shouldn't talk like that. And I understand the things that I've told you, but you just gotta believe in some stuff.
Just because things don't turn out the way you want them to the first time, you've still got to believe in people. I found that out.
So then Susie is still sad, but she's just like, you know what? Maybe I can still believe. I'll just keep, you know, trying to put my faith into Santa, da-da-da-da-da. And Mr. Gailey, Doris, and Susan are driving somewhere, and they figure out where they're driving to.
Mr. Kringle is Santa Claus.
Where are you going?
To see if there's a swing. There is one.
They got the house. She jumps out the car. She runs in. Everything that she drew or she had on that paper of what her dream house was going to be was in that house. She got the house. And they know who they got it from. And that's the end of the movie. And this one got a 96% on Rotten Tomatoes. Now, I think that's kind of crazy that it's 96%. I don't think this is a near perfect movie, but I do think it is a very cute movie. I would probably put it down to the 80s because it is a good movie and it's very cute. It's a little insane to put Santa on trial, but you know, they did. And then we proved that it was Santa. So, you know, for it being one of those older black and white movies, and probably, this was recommended to me, but I don't know how many people have watched this or know about it. I think it's pretty cute. And again, let your kids have an imagination. Doesn't hurt. But that's the end of my video. Thank you so much for tuning in this Thursday to check it out. If there's something that you agree with, disagree with, you want to see how good I did, or you have any movie suggestions for a movie I should watch in the future, please leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, do all the YouTube stuff for this video, and follow me on social media. Kemma's Never Seen It on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Blue Sky, and Kemma's Never Seen on Twitter. And you guys know I do this every video, but sometimes it's a little special to do it around the holiday season. So I want to express my gratitude and appreciation for all of you who tune into my videos each week, maybe every once in a while, or if you just got here, I appreciate you too, but I do have more back there. So go ahead, check those videos out and let me know what you think about those too. But that's the end of my video and I will see you guys back here next week. Bye.